feeling a little burnt out, looking for ways to get your energy back, maybe even find a bit more joy in your day.
Sounds familiar.
We thought so.
Yeah.
And that's what inspired this deep dive. We're taking a close look at a blog post called The Perfect Morning, a teacher's solution to burnout.
Interesting. I think we can all learn a thing or two from that, even if we aren't teachers.
Right. The ideas in here are pretty universal.
Yeah.
In fact, the blog opens with this statistic from a 2021 University of York study. You ready for this?
Hit me.
Teacher burnout is a bigger problem than ever. It's actually a major reason why people are leaving the profession.
Wow. That is pretty alarming, though not too surprising. I mean, burnout is something that's affecting just about everyone these days, no matter what you do for a living.
It's true. And I think most people know that feeling, right? That total mental and physical exhaustion.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The blog post really dives into the whole burnout cycle, especially for teachers. They're dealing with long hours, their to-do lists seem to just keep growing and growing, and it's so easy to just come home and collapse on the couch.
It's so tempting to reach for the junk food, zone out in front of the TV.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's my go-to. But we all know those are just quick fixes.
Totally. And in the long run, they actually make things worse, don't they? You're not really resting, not getting good sleep, not taking care of yourself, and it all adds up.
And I think the blog really nails the core issue here. There just isn't enough time, not enough time to get everything done, and forget about finding time to actually rest and recover.
It's like you're constantly running on fumes.
Yeah. You know, our bodies and minds, they really need that downtime to function properly, but we're not giving it to them.
Nope. Like we're all running on that hamster wheel, going and going.
So what can we do about it? Well, this blog post has a solution. They call it The Perfect Morning.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Basically, it's all about designing your own personalized morning routine. Something that'll help you unlock more time and energy for you.
Okay, that's a good start. I like that it's personalized. It's not just like, okay, everybody do these 10 things and you'll be fixed. It's more about figuring out what actually works for you, right?
Right. There's no one-size-fits-all solution here.
Definitely not.
But how do we actually go about creating this perfect morning? Well, it all starts the night before.
Oh, interesting. Tell me more.
The blog really emphasizes that if you want to have a great morning, you got to set the stage the night before. Do some prep work.
That makes sense. Most people try to cram everything into the morning when they're already feeling rushed and stressed.
Exactly. But if you can get a few things out of the way in the evening...
Yeah, that could be a game changer.
One of the things they recommend is laying out your workout clothes the night before.
Oh, that's a good one. So you don't waste any mental energy in the morning debating whether or not you'll exercise.
You just wake up and boom, you're ready to go.
Decision fatigue, gone. I like it.
They also talk about making a list of your top priorities for the next day.
Oh, that's huge. I find that I feel so much less overwhelmed when I have a clear plan.
Me too. It helps you focus on what really matters. And it keeps all those smaller, less urgent tasks from hijacking your whole day.
Oh, for sure. And you know what? That feeling of accomplishment, of checking things off your list,
It's the best.
it does wonders for your motivation and your overall well-being, keeps that burnout at bay.
Absolutely. And the blog post doesn't stop there. They even recommend things like taking time to reflect on your goals before bed, practicing gratitude, even reading a little fiction.
Wow, that's so interesting. It all ties back into calming your mind, right?
Yeah.
Preparing for a good night's sleep. In fact, the author talks about their own struggle with phone addiction and how they finally overcame it. You want to know the secret?
I'm all ears.
They started charging their phone in a different room and using those app restriction settings.
That's a good idea. It's so easy to let our phones steal our sleep without even realizing it.
They're like little sleep saboteurs in our pockets. But okay, enough about the evening routine for now. What I'm really curious about are those morning rituals they mentioned.
Right. They had a whole list of ideas.
Yeah, it was like a buffet of options.
So where do we start?
Let's talk about exercise.
Okay.
The blog really stresses how important it is to kick off your morning with some physical activity.
Makes sense. Get the blood pumping.
Exactly. And when you're dealing with burnout, your energy levels are totally zapped. So exercise is like hitting the reset button on your whole system.
I can see that.
And you know what else? Those endorphins that get released during a workout, they're like natural mood boosters. They help fight that mental fatigue, that emotional exhaustion that comes with burnout.
I definitely feel that.
So it's not just about feeling good physically. It's about giving your brain the tools it needs to handle stress too.
Okay, I'm sold on exercise. But what about cold showers? They mentioned those too, right?
Oh yeah. Cold showers.
Now, that's not something I've ever tried, but I am kind of curious.
I'll admit, they can be pretty intense.
No kidding.
But once you get past that initial shock, they can be really invigorating.
Oh, interesting.
They can help wake you up, increase your alertness. Some people even find that they help reduce stress.
Ah.
Yeah, and improve circulation. But, it's definitely a personal preference.
Right.
Not everyone's cup of tea.
No, for sure. Okay, moving on to something I can definitely get behind. Fueling your body with a good breakfast.
Yes.
Especially one that includes protein. I always feel so much better when I start my day with protein.
Absolutely. It's essential for stable energy levels throughout the morning.
It keeps you full, too.
Right. You don't get those mid-morning energy crashes.
Exactly. And protein just gives your body what it needs to function at its best.
It's like giving your body the premium fuel it needs to run smoothly.
Now, one thing that really stood out to me in the blog was this idea of having some screen-free time in the morning.
Oh, that's so important.
I know. It seems so simple, but why is it so hard to do?
Think about it. Most people, what's the first thing they do when they wake up?
Grab their phone.
Exactly. They're immediately bombarded with notifications, news, social media, all that stuff, and it just puts you in this frantic, reactive mode from the get-go.
Right.
Screen-free time, though, it gives your mind a chance to wake up gently.
Right.
Allows you to engage with the world around you, without that constant digital distraction.
You're not just reacting to things all the time.
Exactly. It's a chance to just be present. Savor those little moments as you start your day.
Yeah, it's like giving your brain permission to slowly wake up instead of just getting jolted awake by your phone.
Exactly. And another thing the blog really emphasizes is journaling.
Journaling. Okay.
They talk about it as being this super powerful tool for self-reflection, for setting your intentions for the day, even for just processing your emotions.
It was funny you mentioned that because I've always struggled with journaling. I just could never stick with it.
Well, a lot of people think journaling has to be this big, elaborate thing.
Right.
But it doesn't have to be. The blog actually recommends a few different types of journaling, and some of them are really simple and quick.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, they talk about this one called the 5-minute journal.
5-minute journal. Okay.
And it's exactly what it sounds like. It only takes 5 minutes.
I can handle that.
Right. And it focuses on gratitude. It's got these prompts that help you think about what you're thankful for, helps you set positive intentions for your day.
So it's good for beginners.
Yeah, totally. Or, anyone who wants a little bit of structure.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
What about if you want something a little more free-flowing?
They talk about that too. They mentioned something called morning pages. Have you ever heard of that?
Morning pages? No, I don't think so.
So with morning pages, it's all about stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
Basically, you just set a timer, like maybe for 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And you just write whatever comes to mind.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a great way to just clear your head, process any thoughts or emotions that are kind of lingering from the day before.
You just let it all out.
Exactly. And sometimes, you even uncover these surprising insights that you didn't even realize were there.
It sounds kind of therapeutic in a way.
It can be. It's like having a conversation with yourself, but on paper.
Right.
And sometimes that's all it takes to kind of work through things and start your day with a fresh perspective. So we've talked about exercise, we've talked about cold showers.
Great.
We've covered a good breakfast with protein, screen-free time, and journaling. What else is in this perfect morning routine? Well, they also suggest making sure you get some uplifting content in the mix.
Uplifting content. What do you mean by that?
It could be anything, really. Reading a book that inspires you, listening to a podcast that motivates you.
Oh, I see.
Or even just watching a video that kind of sparks your creativity.
So the idea is to just fill your mind with positive messages.
Exactly. Instead of starting your day doom scrolling through the news or social media, you're feeding your mind with something that actually makes you feel good.
So you're kind of setting the tone for the whole day.
Exactly. If you start with negativity, you're more likely to carry that with you. But if you begin with inspiration and motivation it can really set you up for a successful day.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy almost.
Right. And another thing they talk about that I think is really important is connecting with things you're passionate about.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
It could be anything. Spending quality time with your loved ones, working on a creative project that you've been putting off.
Right.
Or even just taking a few moments to be in nature.
Soak up the sunshine.
Yeah.
Breathe the fresh air.
Yeah. Those are the things that really nourish your soul, and they add a sense of joy and fulfillment to your day.
I think that's so important to remember. Because sometimes we get so caught up in being productive, checking things off our to-do list.
Right.
That we forget to actually enjoy life.
Absolutely. And I think it's really important to remember that the blog doesn't present this perfect morning routine as some kind of unattainable ideal.
Right.
It's more about being intentional with your time and energy and making choices that actually support your well-being. It's about progress, not perfection.
I like that. Progress, not perfection. Because it's so easy to get caught up in trying to do everything right.
Right.
And then you just end up feeling defeated when you inevitably mess up.
Oh, for sure. And that can actually contribute to burnout. So instead of striving for perfection, it's about finding what works for you and building a sustainable routine that you can stick with.
Yes, something that's actually realistic.
Right. Even when life throws you curveballs. Because let's face it, life's always going to throw curveballs.
Always.
Yeah.
You know, all this talk about morning routines is making me think back to that study the blog mentioned earlier.
The one about people with morning routines reporting higher levels of happiness and productivity.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a real connection there?
I think so. I think it's more than just a coincidence. When you start your day with intention, it really does create this ripple effect that impacts your whole life.
It's true.
Think about it. You wake up feeling rushed, stressed. You're probably going to carry that energy with you all day long.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But when you start your day with a sense of calm, purpose, focus, it creates a totally different dynamic.
It's like that saying, win the morning, win the day.
Exactly. But it's not even just about winning. It's about creating a sense of peace, clarity, purpose, and that helps you navigate whatever challenges come your way.
Right. You're more equipped to handle whatever life throws at you.
Exactly. So as you start to think about designing your own perfect morning, I want you to really think about what truly nourishes you.
Okay.
What brings you joy? What helps you feel grounded and connected?
It's different for everyone, right?
Yeah, absolutely. For some people, it might be something simple, like enjoying a quiet cup of coffee while listening to their favorite music.
Right.
For others, it might be a brisk walk in nature, just soaking up that fresh air and sunshine.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's curling up with a good book, losing yourself in a creative project.
Oh, that sounds nice. There are so many possibilities.
The key is to find what works for you and make it a consistent part of your life.
Make it a habit.
Exactly. And remember, it's a journey. It's not a destination.
Progress, not perfection.
There you go.
So start small, experiment, and be kind to yourself along the way.
Because when you invest in yourself and create a morning routine that supports your well-being, you're not just setting yourself up for a better day.
You're setting yourself up for a better life. And that brings us back to that thought-provoking question from the blog's Twitter post.
The one that asks, what does your perfect morning look like?
After all this talk about the perfect morning routine, what are your biggest takeaways for someone struggling with burnout? What do we really need to remember here?
You know, I think the most important thing to keep in mind is that this isn't about trying to create some Instagram perfect morning routine. It's not about looking good for other people.
Right.
It's about choosing how you want to start your day, making sure that start actually gives you the energy and focus you need.
It's about taking control.
Exactly. And, you know, that might mean something different for everyone. Some people might need to get their heart rate up with a workout first thing.
Yeah.
Others might need some quiet time with a cup of tea before the day really gets going.
Right, right. So as we wrap up here, I want to encourage everyone listening to really think about what truly energizes them.
What helps them feel grounded and ready to face the day?
Don't be afraid to experiment.
Try different things, and most importantly, pay attention to what your body and your mind are telling you.
Because they'll tell you what they need. And remember, even small changes can make a huge difference.
You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight.
Just start with one small step.
Yeah.
Maybe it's getting up 15 minutes earlier to do some stretching or read a few pages of a book.
Maybe it's putting your phone away an hour before bed.
Whatever it is, just choose something you can stick with. Consistency is key.
Absolutely. Because when you make a conscious effort to start your day in a way that supports you, that positive energy will flow into everything else you do.
You'll show up as a better version of yourself, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you.
That's the beauty of it.
So what are you waiting for? Take some time to picture your perfect morning. What does it look like? What does it feel like? And then start taking those small steps to make it happen.
You won't regret it.